In today's solo leveling rise video, I'm going to give you guys some characters to help you out with your journey early on in the game, particularly for you new players, of course. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new for more content, because 80% of viewers are missing out by not being subscribed. Make sure that's not you. Jinwoo commands you. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. But first, really quick, if you haven't already supported, all you have to do is go to the link in the description. It'll take you over to my profile. Click that support button on that page, and within a day or two, given whenever you guys watch the video, I guess I'll be able to send out some codes to you guys. I've currently got 500 essence stones, 300 rune fragments, all these other things. You guys will see that when I send them out manually a couple of days later. But on that topic, if you've already received those, quick note, make sure that you do extend your support. So on the page it takes you through the link in the description, click on my page right here, and then on my page go to the supporter tab, and on the supporter tab it'll show who you're currently supporting, and right now there's a button to extend support. So if you don't do this, it will automatically just make you support nobody when this is all over. So make sure you do extend your own support session, and the codes that I sent out will be shown on this exact same page if they weren't already sent directly into your in-game account. So this is the page you need to be on anyway, but these codes don't work, so don't try to redeem them. But anyway, that being said, all that is just through the link down below in the description on the page. It takes you to, once again, click my page. Okay, so yesterday I did a video where I covered the best build, stats, everything for Sung Jin-woo, and today we're going to kind of shuffle that a little bit. We're going to talk about the custom draw, talk about the characters that you guys should be prioritizing here. But you have to understand that with this game, there's not a like, oh, let me tell you these 4 characters and you're always going to use these 4 characters no matter what you do, wherever you go. That's not really the way that this game is designed, because, and I explained this in Sung video, but the way that the game is designed is that constantly, ideally, you're going to be taking on stages. Let's say you take on a stage that's weak to light, right? Well, you're going to want to match affinity bonus. You're going to want to put a light team together. You're going to want to go with the light characters, because the other characters, other elements, excuse me, will get decreased damage or whatever. You're not going to be able to break as effectively. Like, you want to match elements with what the game is telling you on a per stage basis, and in story that's like a per chapter basis. Like, that's the ideal. You're constantly shuffling. And then also with Sung Jin-woo, if you're using him in his content, you're putting a character, and then you're also, or excuse me, a weapon, and then you're trying to use your other slot for at least, say that's Plum Sword, right? Your other slot's most likely going to be a type advantage weapon. You can very early on get by doing this no matter what for Sung Jin-woo in early content, but later on you're going to need to like just match elements like in workshop, etc., and harder content. But that's the kind of gist of it, is that you're not going to be able to always say, I want to take this team, these characters into content, especially if it's not Sung Jin-woo, because you can also get away. If Sung Jin-woo is built to a high degree, you can get by using support characters that aren't matching types of what you need to be doing for the stages, but you're not going to be able to really get by that in the team fight content where Sung Jin-woo is not the main one you're using, or he's not the character you're using at all. You're going to need to have other characters invested and built up. So it's tricky, because that's, again, on a per stage, per chapter basis, depending on what you're doing. But I want to rapid fire out some characters that I think are solid and what they can do for you. So I'm not going to spend all day covering this, or I'm not going to spend a lot of time covering this, because I could spend all day, because what happens is, as we look into these characters have different things as you add more duplicates into them. For example, I'm going to very quickly show you Min, and he'll be the only character we do this for. You'll have to individually go through and see what you have, see what you want to target, etc. But Min is very strong. He is a universal support character, arguably still the best support character in the game 10 months later. And the reason why is because, especially with that first duplicate, he gives all team members crit hit rate and damage. That 5th duplicate on him is extremely strong, as you can imagine. He pushes his crit hit damage stat to his allies as well with this skill here, the ultimate. He also has a debuff that he puts on the enemies in punishment. He has some passive healing if you need that, disguise. Very strong, like, universal character that's not a support character that's tied specifically to one element. You'll see other characters like Shimizu Akari, who is mainly just restricted to being on the light team or supporting light hunters, because she was designed to support Thomas Andre. That'll kind of be a thing. But The characters I'm going to kind of throw out to you, you're going to have to look at them for the most part. But Min, like I was just explaining, one of the best characters in the game, period. If I know like a specific target, I'll probably bring it up. So Isla, I believe her name is, her third advancement. She's got craze. She's the best support character in the game. But the stipulation on that is that she needs at least a third duplicate, because the third duplicate allows for her to not have chance built into it. She pushes a bunch of support effects, but only one at a time. But with the third one, she pushes all this stuff at once. She's a fortune teller, so she's got some RNG stuff in there. Cha has a really strong, she's a strong DPS. Thomas is better, but she's a nice secondary light DPS. But what makes her also good is she's got an effect for branding, which allows her team to do more crit damage. Very, very strong. She also has a heal block effect on enemies that heal a lot. That can be very useful. And this is stuff that's triggering regardless of if you're using Sung Jin-woo or if you have her as your main character. That's fine. Other than that, some of these characters are like, Thomas is really good too. I want to throw him out there. Go, best breaker in the game. So yeah, he has break on his ultimate. However, I think that requires a third or fourth dupe. So there's that. Also, quick note, the custom draw, when Goto's banner leaves, whenever the new character's banner leaves, they get added to the custom draw. And you can put them as a rate up. So maybe you want to wait for Goto. Currently right now, there's not a crazy need for Goto. We're not really in a win meta, but they'll just probably cycle us back with new content that's geared towards having Goto or the win team. Anyway, speaking of the win team, I actually really like Woo Jinchul for early game. He's a breaker, yes, but he's got an effect on his dash where he allows for, and this is with Sung Jin-woo, it's pretty nice. Support skill, it increases the max number of dashes by 2 and charges for 20 seconds. Like that's really good. Giving you more dashes is extremely strong. And he also has it here. It decreases the cooldown of dash by 1 second, so that's nice. He has literal dashes in here, I believe, right? When the user uses dash, it increases the power and decreases the cooldown of dash by 1 second. Could have swore he had more dashes in here for, maybe it's the QTE. Huh. Anyway, whatever. Very strong though when used with Sung, because you want to be doing as many amplifying draws with the plum sword. Outside of that, I mean, I could throw one more support character at you. She's got some locking stuff because she mainly wants to be on a a water team, but she's really good otherwise. She still has some stuff that's pretty general. Han Mi also has good survivability built into her kit, but again, after that, it's mostly just looking at certain teams. Lee Bora's got a good support effect in there. Now, really what you're trying to do, like I've said a few times, is geared towards specific composition. So if there was a specific team, I think you should try to target farm to start the game. The good news with Cha is that you get her from that like little startup thing. I forget what it's called, but it's got all those stages. You get her and her weapon from there. You also get the Casca Truth Fang thing too, so that's cool. But the light element team is the one I would target farm to start. So I would choose these three. These three. You'd get Cha, and then in the last spot, I'd probably just put that for Jinu. You could put Shimizu as well, but you don't need Shimizu and Min. It's dealer's choice, whichever you prefer. But I would probably just put a weapon for Sung and call it there. If I was looking to build something else out, say post Goto, if you watch this video a little bit later, then the win team is probably a good place to go. So it will be these three plus Goto. That's what I would be looking for. Notice Min is still there because I do think Min is extremely valuable. The fire team, really strong. Isol, you have a couple options. So Kanai is not here yet. She should be here like within like a week or two. But she's another fire DPS, Kanai Tawata. But this is the fire team. You want to put these three together and grab the bow. I would say you can grab the fan if you would like to, but the bow is the one I'd probably rather have. But again, you could also just put Min there, call it a day there. Min is the one where it's kind of fun because you could plug him into these teams if you want to do that. But some of these characters will have stipulations on how many same element characters like Amamiya Mirai has, where they get extra bonuses for being on a full wind team or full water team, blah, blah, blah. But those are the main teams that are pretty relevant right now, main characters that are pretty relevant right now. I've said it a dozen times, but I'll say it again. It kind of just depends on what you're doing. But in terms of characters that I think that most people can start off with and be successful utility wise, I haven't brought up the dark team or the dark characters all too much, but these two are two that I would consider just starting out. I think that Harper has that. She's got that great stun on her QTE. She's got the pork chopped effect, which gets exponentially stronger as you get dupes into her, of course, but it's a nice effect to increase your overall damage. Like Breaker, support type character, just like Go, just like a couple other characters. I brought up Min, that I bring him up again. If you are desperate for defense down / breaks, Baek Yunho proper. Jungin is solid, he has that, but he requires a lot of investment. Like, you need to have him and his weapon maxed out to really be good. But that's mostly it. I didn't really talk about the water team too much because I just think that the water team isn't all that relevant right now. And the only places they're super duper, there's a couple places they're relevant, like the power of destruction and stuff, but the main place they'd be relevant, like in terms of just regular PvE content, is going to be workshop, but they double as an element there with wind, so you just get wind instead. So you're good. But a lot of these characters have different utility that you can use to apply, but those are the characters, like these two, these are some of the ones that I think have strong effects / utility / support. Hansumi survivability, Go with his break and all that stuff. He's also got some light element support kind of kit going on. Those are the main ones that I think you guys should be focusing on. And then Wu Jinchul also is a nice breaker with utility with the dash and stuff too. So that's mostly everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new for more content. And make sure you support and extend support as well.